What's up, man?
What's up, man? How's it going?
That's fucking great.
Definitely.
Here comes the Mallett. Coming at ya.
What's up?
All right, I fucking figure out what I've been doing wrong this entire time. So when you go to Zoom, there's an appointment set up that you're supposed to click on to activate the Zoom, if you will. I just keep on clicking activate Zoom. So it's starting a whole new fucking meeting, not the one that I scheduled.
Oh, okay.
So, now that I figured this bullshit out, I can we shouldn't have a problem with trying to join a Zoom any longer. So I don't know why I just literally just clicked, and I'm half in the bag right now too. So I don't know how I figured that out drunk, and I couldn't figure out sober all this time. So is someone over at Adam's house?
Yeah, I think so. He always has somebody over. Like you've never noticed when he mimes. Like I guess his guest. He's
got a lady over or something.
Yeah.
I've never noticed this before. He's had people.
Yeah.
Have I not picked this up?
Yeah, it happens.
He has a finger up. Look, hey.
Yeah,
I bet he just used that finger a few minutes ago. Look at that side profile. It looks like a bad guy from Roger Rabbit. There he is.
Hey guys.
So I guess I never picked this up before. Ryan has made a point that you have guests over usually during the show.
Occasionally, yeah.
How do I've never picked this up before?
I think maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, but I've never noticed. Because Mr. Glover has noticed your miming and your hand movements.
Well, I do have identity issues and do talk to an imaginary friend occasionally, but in these instances, no.
I'm sitting there like, he's like, oh. So you have an audience. So you have a live studio audience apparently?
No, not right now. No.
Not right now. Are you fucking talking to a ghost? Oh, fuck. All right, we're gonna start the Facebook right about now.
How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
All right, it's felt like a quick week. I thought it would feel slow, but tomorrow's like Thursday, so that's good.
All right, we're live on the face. All right, so like I said, we're gonna do got the notes here. So Tamika and Tapeka, did you do it on purpose, putting them on top of each other? That's very ironic. But they will be the first half of the show, and then we'll stop, and then we'll do the next episode.
I'm totally gonna screw that up.
Yeah, so I'll bring it after we get to Tapeka's. Then I'll bring us out, and then we can stop back up. And Adam, you said if you want to leave after area,
I'm out at like 9:30.
All right, so that's gonna be it'll be after area, and then we'll start SC around 9:30, and then we'll bring it to. How do you pronounce? Was it Miki, Ryan?
His mute's on.
You're muted.
Which
was it Miki Hall?
let me see.
Meki Hall.
So I just got a Tapeka Tolbert, and then our first guest though is Tamika Newhouse.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Miki at the end.
Oh, Michi
with a ch.
Yeah, I guess Essie Berry canceled.
Okay.
Just last minute, I just received a message and stuff and everything to say like, our podcast is too heavy.
Yeah.
I was
Too heavy. She's accusing Steve Harvey of diddling. Like this is like the podcast you want to be on. This is the way you want to hear all the action.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, and stuff and everything. I thought it would have been a good story, but like, and stuff and everything. Like,
yeah.
I wish like she had been a little bit more professional and maybe like told me like a day before. But it's all good.
Yeah. I automatically don't believe it now. How's that fun? All right, so I'm gonna stop the show now so that we can bring in Tamiki. All right, so I'll bring you guys in, and then when I see her pop up, Ryan, I'll
okay.
I'll let you know, and you can introduce her and all that stuff. All right. All right, everybody, it's the Arty 84 show live here from quarantine week 375. We've been in quarantine since Nixon was president. And this is episode 150 here on the intrawebs. As always, below me, we have Adam the Mallett.
Hello. Did you just say week 375?
375. We've been in quarantine.
In quarantine?
We've been in quarantine since Nixon was president.
Oh, okay. All right.
Didn't know. And to the left of me, you have Ryan. I'm not Danny Glover's brother. Although, do you have a brother, Danny? I even asked you that.
No. I met Danny Glover once though, and he yelled at me and stuff. Everything. That's his 74th birthday party.
Why'd he yell at you for? That seems a little aggressive.
No, like I don't know, man. I guess he has like some issues and stuff. Everything so like I told him like we had the same last name.
Yeah.
And there's like I guess he's had some past issues and stuff. Everything of people like using his last name and stuff. Everything. And he was like, "We're not related." Like I don't know you, but it wasn't me who's been using his name. Like I had nothing to do with those issues, but like
he's becoming a senile old man. It's pretty much what's happening.
I mean, it's kind of obvious, right? There's a lot of people with similar last names. I wonder if people go up to him whose first name's Danny and be like, "Hey, we got the same first name." Like, you've been using my identity. Fucking Danny. So this is episode 150. If you're watching on Facebook tonight, we're gonna do 2 episodes back to back. Couple guests on each one. We had a cancellation for the second one, but we'll get into that on episode 151, which will be happening around 9 o'clock tonight. But other than that, how was your Labor Day weekend, fellas?
Man, excellent. Like I really enjoyed it and stuff, everything. So I went to the wharf, man. Like and stuff like where we had had drinks and stuff. I just took my family over there. And and stuff, everything, ate some, fried dough and, let my kids play in the park. And
nice over there. So you can pick up.
It is.
For a single guy, it's a good place to pick up the ladies.
I bet, yeah.
But for a family guy, it's a great place to bring the family. Actually, we took engagement pictures over there back in the day.
Okay.
Nice little place. Went there it's a good first date place, But, for girls, it's very, very risky to go on a first date there, especially during the nighttime and the wintertime, because you could throw her into the water and no one would know.
There's usually a lot of people around, so I don't know if that would work.
Not on a Tuesday night in January.
That's true. Yes.
That's a good place to tie a couple of fishing weights to her ankles and give her the old kicksy right into the water. You know what I mean?
When I first came to Boston, I ended up over there after this Nipsey Hussle show at the House of Blues and stuff, everything. And I was trying to get back to Cambridge, and I was ended up lost. And actually a bartender from that bar actually came and he bought me a lift so I could get back to Cambridge because my phone had died and everything. So
from where we were, I guarantee. Yeah. So I know it definitely wasn't Eric Danger Powers because he would never buy anyone lifts. I could guarantee it was a guy named Steve, and he's been working there forever. And next time I see Steve, I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. I'm going to ask him, did you ever help Danny Glover's son, Ryan, to get a cab back to Cambridge? I mean, because that's pretty much, you're pretty much going the opposite direction if you end up in Christopher Columbus. Can we say Christopher Columbus Park anymore, or is that against the rules? I know they took the
I think it's still okay, but it's trying to be overturned.
I think they should name it to Christopher Cross Park, and they should just play Christopher Cross songs. Like Sailing should just be playing in the background the entire time, which would make sense because you see boats all the time. He's like,
yeah.
Take me away. He's a big dude. You ever see what Christopher Cross looks like?
No. Let me Google it.
He's short and stubby. He's in his late 60s, but he looks really young. And he has such a high voice. And his daughter is an absolute smoke show. So you got to take a look Christopher Cross's daughter looks like. I don't know why. One day at work, I just went into the wormhole and I was just Googling Christopher Cross stuff. I only Cross. Why? I'm thinking of Lara Croft. Christopher Cross. That's his name.
Oh, Madison Cross, his daughter.
Yeah, she's a cute.
Well, there's a Donald Glover, the guy that got kicked off that show for lying.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Donnie Glover got kicked off? Donald Glover?
Donald Glover, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was him. That was him?
Yeah, he's the one that got kicked off that show, and then said he was attacked or some racial shit that didn't even happen. I forget what it was, but people were like, "You're full of shit." I think it was something bad too. I forget.
Oh, he was on. Wasn't he on something 999?
No.
Childish Gambino, the rapper, Donald Glover, who's
I don't know. Do you guys know who Donald Salk is, though?
No.
Donald Glover's cousin. Donald Salk.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Yeah.
Adam, we got some bad news for you. I heard today on the radio. Bad news for you today. Actually, we were just talking about this. I think either today or yesterday. The Kardashians will be ending their run in 2021.
Oh, no.
14 years, 20 seasons. The Kardashians are saying goodbye. And so I was listening to this. I've heard this on two different stations and two different perspectives. One perspective was that he only has really two shows going on right now. They have the Bellas and they have the Kardashians. And Terry Bradshaw's show is going to be coming in pretty soon, which I don't think he's a senile old quarterback with serious head injuries.
Yeah.
With like a couple handful of, eights for daughters. So it might be good to look at, but I don't know if it's going to be anything of composure there. But another thing I heard of was because during the Kardashian run, Kim and her mom pretty much ran the show, and they really like to not so much their personal life, but their sisters' personal lives and their brothers' personal lives, and they like to expose all the cheating, all that stuff that was going on. And now that shit's getting real with Kanye and Kim, someone said that Kim wants to pull the plug on this because she wants to be entertained by her sisters and all that shit's bad stuff. But when it comes to her, she's like, oh well, that stuff's not right for the public eye. I have a crazy husband. I
said, we should throw them all on an island and see how well they fare. That's what I think that we should do because they're not going to last very long.
She should have thought about that before she had Ray J's pee-pee deep in her mouth.
Although I do think the Bradshaw show, it's probably going to end up kind of like the Hulk Hogan one, where it's like going to last like 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah,
be kind of entertaining for a while and then drop off.
Brick Hogan was a smoke show. I mean, absolutely.
It was, but it was bizarre because she was hot, but she had like that build. Like she had like fucking build like a rock. Like she had like.
But she looked like the mom. Like it was like a clone, right? So she looked, and then one of them started dating a dude or a woman that looked like
Hulk. Hulk dated his fiance. It looked exactly like Brooke. It was creepy as fuck.
Brooke Hogan, she's like 6'1". She has like a size 13 foot or something like that.
Yeah, like all the steroids her dad took went right to her. Like seriously, like fuck.
And then you get the fucking delinquent son, right? Who got pulled over for speeding at 100 miles per hour. So got his ticket and then went back into his car and drove another 110 miles per hour and killed someone. Like minutes later.
Bag. Yeah.
He's in a state pen somewhere in Florida, which I can't imagine being a good. It's probably one of my top 5 least states I want to be knocked in a prison is Florida.
I feel like he said he saw the movie The Fast and the Furious and was like, "That's gonna be my life."
I told you what happened to me when we seen Fast and the Furious when I was in high school. We all went. It was my senior year. So we all had cars. So we watched Fast and the Furious, and we're all hyped up on fast driving. So I jumped in my old Jeep, and I was speeding around the Showcase Cinema parking lot in Revere like a lunatic. And then I went into the main road across the street from the Squire Club, and I gassed it. Then I pulled the e-brake and cut the wheel and kind of skidded out and skidded back and got pulled over and got a $150 ticket for reckless driving.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So for all you kids out there, do not watch The Fast and the Furious and then go decide you're going to try to be fast.
Oh, you know what? Like Nick Hogan, man, he's out of jail, bro.
Oh, he is?
He only did he's been out of jail since like 2008. He only did like 8 months.
Are you kidding me? 8 months for killing someone in a vehicle homicide incident?
He did 4 years probation.
You didn't get him on the show? Maybe.
I think he probably lays super low.
You think so? I mean, yeah. I mean, I would love to get into the inside of like, Nick, have you ever had sex with your sister?
Wait, was he involved in like a murder for hire thing? I'm reading. I don't know. Maybe
really?
I don't know. I'm Googling like where is he now, and I see like murder for hire or something. Blah blah blah. I don't fucking know.
Scandalous.
I don't know.
I was murdered for hire once. I turned it down though. I couldn't do it. The money wasn't good enough. You know what I mean?
What does it mean when you plead no contest? Is that like saying, if you say I did it, I did it?
Yeah,
is that what that's like?
Guilty. You're guilty. It's the same as a guilty plea. It's just like you're not admitting to it. So like in like certain civil cases, like if you cause civil damage, you know what I mean, and stuff, everything that can't be used against you. It's
like a discontinuance without a finding.
pretty much. It's like saying, if you
Nothing
say
else.
I did it, fine.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what that is. Got it. Yeah.
That's one of those things where it's like, you're guilty, but we're not going to document the guilt. We're going to say that you said you did it, but we're going to find out a way to compromise and meet you in the middle.
Oh, he looks like shit.
Because,
Nice.
yeah. Who, Nick Hogan
So
looks like
bald.
shit?
Good.
Is it really?
Good.
Well, that's coincidentally enough, we have someone on the show tonight who invented a cure for baldness, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be grilling her.
A little teaser for you. But first, we have our first guest who is ringing in right now. Mr. Glover, would you like to bring her in?
Okay, from teen mom to CEO by the age of 20, Tamika Newhouse, the author of 16 novels, has landed on numerous bestsellers lists and is the winner of 8 African-American literary awards. Only 9 months after debuting her first novel in 2009, she landed a major publishing contract without an agent and went on to become the CEO of Delphine Publications. To date, she has published nearly 200 titles, launched the careers of hundreds of writers, and produces the only entertainment award show for writers called the AAMBC Literary Awards. Meet Tamika Newhouse.
Tamika. Looks like she's still loading to get in here. The internet's been a little crazy today, I think. I'm having issues all day at work. But we see her. She's here. Although there were several episodes where Mr. Glover was there and displayed by words, but you couldn't puncture the wound, if you will.
Oh yeah, I wasn't using the app.
Yes. All right. There is Tamika. How you doing, Tamika? Welcome to the
Hey guys. Hi. I'm pretty great, pretty peachy. So I'm sorry for the delay.
No, it's all right. Were you able to hear Ryan's wonderful introduction of you?
I did. I kind of sound really important, by the way. Like, ooh, that's me. Okay.
So where are you?
Are really important, yeah.
Where are you joining us from today?
I am in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
So
what's the weather? What's the weather like down there tonight?
It's been pretty hot. It's cooling down a little bit. We're in the mid 80s a little bit. You know, we was getting the high 90s and peaking in on the hundreds over the past couple weeks. But it's starting to feel a lot calmer now.
That's good.
Hopefully it goes there, but it's Atlanta, so who knows?
One of my favorite towns I've ever been to is Atlanta. It's a great place.
I know, like it's so much to do here in Atlanta. The culture is, you know, it's always great food. As well, prior to COVID, we had the festivals, we got the art scene. You know, it's all so many different lounges and always something to do and socialize in Atlanta. So I love Atlanta.
I was down there for the Super Bowl a couple years ago. It was a great time.
I bet you did. I bet you did have a good time.
I had a bad time once the Patriots won too, because I'm an old Pats fan. But it was a good time.
Okay. But outside the game, I'm pretty sure you had a ball.
The underground is someplace I've never ventured to in Atlanta, but I always wanted to. But I feel like you need to go with a local because as a tourist to go to the Atlanta underground, you feel like you don't know where you're going. It could be I wouldn't even know how to get to said underground.
You know what is? You would only be touring the underground with a local. I would not I would not tell an outsider who doesn't know anybody here, go to the underground.
Yes. Okay.
No, I'm
That's
not.
the impression that I got.
Nah, I wouldn't suggest that. It's if you really want to kind of get down to like the roots of Atlanta and kind of see a lot of locals, the underground is definitely that. But it's not for everybody. It's not for the
that's the impression that I got, and that's why I didn't try to seek it out on my own.
Good.
Probably be a bad situation.
Yeah, I want you to come home with your stuff, with your things.
Right? Yeah. My little cousins were living out there. They just moved, but I was waiting for them to turn 21, so they gave me the insight of the underground and take me around.
Gotcha. Oh, Lord, right.
But
you need to walk around knowing where you're going, acting like you know where you're going down there for real.
Yeah.
The
most famous place they've been talking about in Boston sports radio for the last 2 months now is Magic City down in Atlanta. And I understand they have the greatest wings in the Southeast. But
you know what? That's funny. I was actually on Twitter the other day, and I tweet a lot, and I speak freely about a lot of stuff. And I mentioned, stripper chefs. Chefs at the strip clubs, they don't get a lot of credit.
I agree.
So I actually shouted out the stripper chefs a couple weeks ago on my Twitter. Like, y'all be rocking it out. Y'all don't understand. Like, they really are like the life, like a really good, important piece of the strip clubs down here in Atlanta.
It took out half of took half the Miami Marlins out just for the wings. So I mean,
right. Like we be going there just to eat. Like the girls, you know, that's like an extra. That's an add-on. But we be going there for the wings.
me and Adam were at a place of that nature once before, and we noticed people were eating wings there. And
pizza.
People were having a feast at the strip club. Now, from where we're from, that is kind of like one of those things you don't do.
It kind of sounds unsanitary, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it sounds unsanitary, but I mean, where I come from, Fort Worth, Texas, and Fort Worth was like a small town outside of Dallas, and back then it was so small that we knew everybody, and the best places to eat was always the ugliest places. It was a hole in the walls. It was a gas station. Like the gas station used to have a cook. So we used to always get our burgers and our chicken from the gas station. Like if you really want to eat good in the city, you go to the ugliest places.
What about maybe food? Yeah. What about like a buffet? What if there was a strip club that had like an all-you-can-eat buffet, without a sneeze guard?
Now prior to COVID, that would be a really good idea. Now with COVID happening, folks in the club is already a little saucy. They ain't really paying quite attention to everything. I don't know. We want to do the buffet in the strip club. That's a thought, though.
Yeah, no, I've been to a swingers / strip club once before. That was
Ooh, now you're telling on yourself.
Okay. No, yeah, it was a potluck. So everyone brought their own food there. It was very bizarre.
I need to go. No, I don't. I mean, that sounds interesting. I'm a writer as well, so I would like to know more about this swinger situation.
It was
just for research purposes.
Oh, absolutely. No, it was in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it could be a scene in the book.
Yeah.
Yes, research purposes, like a potluck and swinging.
Yeah. It was in Las Vegas. It was several years ago. Well, 12 years ago. Me and my former co-host went there. And the points to invite us in was the fact that they had food and like, well, it's a potluck, but help yourself, so we went and it was quite the spread. People had the cocktail wiener was the big hit. I think everyone had a lot of those.
The cocktail wiener.
It was very ironic.
Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely something that
I'm getting some thoughts here.
I didn't sample the food, but plenty of people did. So I'm assuming it was all right, but no sneeze guards. That was.
Oh gosh! Well, you said it was 12 years ago, so that was a different world.
It was.
We have a whole new normal going on.
I'm surprised. Yeah, people be wearing masks in those places now.
I mean, like in Atlanta, if we're talking about the mask guards and wearing the face guards and all that jazz. Well, ain't nobody really doing that in the strip clubs.
No, I can't imagine that's.
Like they breaking the rules.
I can't believe they're even open. I mean, that's kind of
Atlanta being open. Atlanta was open in May.
Yeah.
Like come June 1, we was out of there. Like nobody was in the house. They was like, forget social distancing. Trump said we can come out. Yeah. That's what they did. All kinds of parties and everything was going on in Atlanta. I was just sitting at home watching it. I didn't come out until a couple months later.
Oh, I don't blame you. We're in Massachusetts. We're equivalent to being in county jail up here. We got times we can go get food. We got times we can go get drinks, but we can't go to certain places after certain times. So it's pretty much like being in having an ankle bracelet on up here and walking around, making sure you can't do stuff. So.
Yeah, Atlanta folks ain't falling for that at all. Rules.
Oh, no. Yeah, rules.
They don't understand that down here at all.
But it's a hell of a time. Have you guys been improving much with the corona, or is it kind of?
I'm gonna keep it 100. When COVID first started happening, everybody was forced in the house, and so we were sitting there watching the numbers, and then along with that, we were sitting there watching all the protests and this uprising. It was just chaos in cities everywhere, and then in countries everywhere. So I was focused on what was going on. Like I was consumed in it. Then after a while, it's exhausting. So it's happening, it's going on. But it doesn't have to be a part of my day every day. I don't want to consume my everyday with what's going on. So I don't really know what the numbers is at. I don't really know what's going on in the city. I know I'm good. I know I'm being safe and, being, leading with precaution and all that. But I don't really know what's going on. I decided to detach myself from the everyday headlines of all this stuff. It was just a lot.
It's crazy.
It's just
absolutely
a lot,
crazy.
Yeah.
We talked to a lot of guests come on the show, and we it's interesting because we get a lot of people from all around the country, so we get their perspective of what the hell's going on in their region of the country, and it seems to be pretty much it's a lot of it's the same. A lot of people just just trying to wait this stuff out, and it looks like it's getting better, I guess, right? I would say it had, or at least
it's becoming just. I think people are just getting accustomed to it.
Yeah,
people are still getting sick. Things are still happening.
Mm-hmm.
But people are kind of just the patience is not there, and then it's not technically in immediately in people's face anymore. So people kind of just going on about their day, and I say lead with precaution. Like I've always been like this germaphobe.
Yeah.
I make sure that I wash my hands and I keep my distance and things like that. So just be smart, be practical, and again, let's wait it out and go from there.
That's right.
Tamika, I want to talk about some of your books here. I'm always curious to get in the mind of people who write certain kind of novels, and I'm looking at the description for a lot of your books, and a lot of them revolve around love, sex, and betrayal. And it's like, now what inspires you most to write? Is it like personal experience? Is it just like kind of like fantasy? Is it like what mostly inspires you?
Well, when I started writing, I'm a natural storyteller. So I was telling stories, and I finished my first book when I was 12. So I've always been this person that had these ideas and these emotions in my head. So bringing them out, writing them out, creating these characters, creating these lives, that was something that was always natural for me. So when I was younger, I had a different reason to why I was creating. And I think people forget that writing is an art form. So just like with music and, with acting, you should be forever evolving with your writing. And so my reasoning behind my stories then is not the same now. But I didn't really experience a lot of affection and passion and, and drama and all of that, in my early years. So I wrote about it. Okay. And it was interesting, and some of the things I wanted to experience as far as sexually or adventurous or new experiences, traveling, all these different things, meeting different people. I didn't quite experience a lot of that growing up. And then as I started my book career and I created these stories, I started living some of these things. Like you grow up, you experience things. Mm-hmm. Like I fell in love a couple times. My children started growing up and challenging me in different spaces. So I began to learn a new me. So now when I write, it's more so from experience. At first it wasn't. Now it's more so.
You got a lot of steamy stuff going on here.
Yeah. Oh, what you trying to say? I mean,
going deep in the archives.
Well, starting at the ultimate no-no, you see.
Now the ultimate no-no, that was about lying, cheating, betrayal, and things like that.
Okay.
That tends to be like the common denominator in folks' relationships. So.
Yeah, that's true. The more of these that you write, though, does it get a little harder? Like, because, how many times can you get into detail to, like, kind of talk about what two people are doing? You know what I mean? I'm sure you hit some roadblocks occasionally. Yeah, at some point.
But I hit roadblocks because of other distractions. Like if I was in the beginning of my writing career and I didn't have all these other obligations, I wasn't touring, I wasn't speaking, I didn't have my festival, I wasn't doing films and all that jazz. So it's things now that distract me. So now I have to be a little bit more structured in my creativity, and I have to kind of sit down and be engrossed in the world that I'm creating. Now, once I become a part of the world that I'm creating, it will flow because these are new people. And I'm connecting with these people and I'm writing about their lives. And if I find myself being stuck, that means I'm not connected to these people and I need to get to learn them again. It's really a process of connecting with your characters, understanding what the story is, understanding, where you want the story to flow and to go. And again, I have to, get to know them. Like I have to build bios and things sometimes for my characters.
Makes sense. It's character, development and whatnot.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you moved from Texas to Georgia? Or was that the direct?
Yeah, I moved from Texas to Georgia when I was 26.
Okay. So you spent the majority of your life in Texas.
I spent the majority of my life in Texas, yeah.
So I pulled off the fun facts from your website and it said,
oh, Lord.
You wrote your first book at 12 years old, which is actually pretty impressive because I've never finished a book in my life. never alone wrote.
Like reading it?
Never. I've always just skipped to the end. Ever.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, I think I had ADD, and I would never diagnosed.
That's what it is. You know, some people can't sit through. You know, but maybe you should try one of mine's out. One of the more grown up.
Yeah, yeah. A tale of love and passion.
Yeah, that may keep your attention a little bit.
So so you also preached to an entire sermon to 300 people.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was like a PK kid. So I grew up heavy in the church.
Okay.
So, which probably is why I wrote a lot, because, you know, life was boring. It was either school or church. And Ryan, I don't know how you were raised, but I know fellas, I don't know if y'all grew up Christian either, but, you know, Christianity, they have this structure, and we had a very strict way of, you know, how we had to do our devotion and our gifting and our faithfulness and our discipline with our religion. And so growing up as a Christian, like, we had all these different rules. I was a PK kid. I was in church 5 days out the week. I was in choir. I was on the dance team. I was a part of the youth department. I was in the outreach department. And then once a month, they allowed someone to preach from the youth department.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it's
and I wanted to, because I was just that kid.
Yeah.
So I preached about being pregnant by Jesus. It was being pregnant by Jesus, like Jesus coming into you, you know, he birthed in the spirit and all that. So, and I was like 10 or something like that, 9 or 10.
Because you didn't understand the whole idea. I mean, you understand the concept, but you didn't understand.
Yeah, I didn't really know what I was talking about.
Science behind it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's way more to religion than I was led previously when as a child. So yeah. I didn't know what I was talking about.
I grew up in a Catholic church as well as Adam, right? You were Catholic.
I was raised Protestant, but I was never confirmed. So.
He was never confirmed.
I backed out.
Catholic church is a lot of talking in Latin, a lot of like chanting and whatnot. I always looked at like the southern churches. My wife's a Baptist, and they always seem to have way more fun in church.
It is.
Oh yeah.
It's something within our. I think it's something within our beings, our spirit, our energy. It's the rhythm, it's the soul or the texture of our tones and our voices.
Yeah.
And then we can't sit still. And we tend to be loud and extravagant with everything that we do. Like, I don't know if y'all ever experienced us in card games, domino games, house parties. Like, we just extra with everything. So we're gonna be extra when it comes to church.
Yeah.
So yes. Like everybody, and then growing up in church, I knew who was gonna be doing their shouting, who was about to be falling out crying. I knew who was gonna be doing that every week. Every week, same old thing. Oh my gosh.
If church was that fun, I would have went to church a lot more. We used to dread it. Sunday mornings we'd get there, and when we had to go, it was sitting there. It was like, oh, Dolores.
Don't do that. No, you don't do that, because my church service lasts over 4 hours.
Oh God.
One service over 4 hours.
So,
yes.
A half day of work
on Sundays.
Yes, on Sunday. Right. Sunday morning service, you got like praise and worship that start at 9, and we don't leave the sanctuary until after 2.
So I was going to ask you that, because down south, you guys are big football fans. I know it's more.
Yeah.
So college.
That was a big conflict.
Yeah. So I was going to say, so college football is on Saturday. You get all day Saturday to have fun. Sundays kickoffs at 1 on the East Coast, so you're missing the first quarter. But they're
missing it.
Your preacher's got to be football fans too. I mean, everyone loves football down south.
No, he wasn't, and he used to make people feel guilty. Nope. And then this is prior to the internet.
Yeah.
So, and cell phones. So you didn't know who won until you got home and you had to watch the highlights.
Like the damn Cowboys are on at noon. You know, I gotta go.
Yes, and the Cowboys played every Sunday, and the Cowboys played every Thanksgiving. Yep. And not only that, my church always wanted to do a family dinner, which I kind of liked. Mm-hmm. But he wanted to take over our Thanksgivings too. So everything was church.
That's why you wear a secret little earpiece.
Right.
Just listen, you know.
This was prior to the internet and all that technology stuff.
Oh, that's true.
It wasn't that little back then. You won't have like this big old type of earpiece. We could see it and hear it.
But at least with all the singing and dancing going on, you could someone could score a touchdown. You just cheer and it's fine, right?
No, in a black church, you would get have you ever experienced a black mother in the church? You would get called to the front of the church. If you were showing out, they would put you on the altar and they would call you out in front of everybody.
Oh,
no.
That's awesome.
Jesus. So you say you never went to your prom.
It's awful.
So you never went to prom. Why was that? Was it a choice, or did you just find out like, you know, did your preacher make you go to church that night and you couldn't go, or like?
Nah, I mean, I wasn't sociable. I
Yeah.
was just a homebody, so I didn't go to prom. Yeah.
I didn't either, so it's all good.
I didn't
I
really
went to my
want
girlfriend's
to.
prom. I didn't go to my prom. So.
Yeah, I didn't really want to. And then I didn't like school. I didn't like people at school.
Yeah, you didn't miss
So
much. I went to about 7 proms, and all there was cost lots and lots and lots of.
you went to 7 proms.
I got around, you know, all these.
You seem like the dude in high school that was like loud. You walked the hallways greeting everybody like the sports jock. Was that him?
I wasn't a jock, but I was voted most sociable. So
See? Okay.
Yes, pinpointed me. Yeah, I was a very terrible athlete.
Did she go out with the homecoming queen as well?
No, I wish.
Okay.
No, that was the football. My sport was golf. I was a golfer, and
Golf.
yeah, we weren't really pulling the cheerleaders. You know, we weren't exactly that caliber. But
Gotcha.
I had a lot of friends on the team that were hockey players, because the hockey players would play golf to help their swing for the winter.
Okay.
So I was kind of in, but I wasn't totally in. I was a what do you call it, a guest to their society, if you will. I wasn't
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So, but
Gotcha. You coming in.
I was the bridge, like, between tribes. Like, I would always know somebody kind of in each group, but I was never really part of any real group.
Gotcha. So you were just cool with everybody.
Yeah, but I wasn't like involved really with any. I was just kind of like, I had my small little group of friends.
Yeah, you were just
like,
there.
Yeah, I was just there, and I just kind of pop in to other people and like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the only thing, I was on my school newspaper. I did do that.
I was too.
Yes,
Nice.
I was on the newspaper in I did the yearbook. So I was part of the yearbook committee. So I did that. Other than that, that was it.
yeah, high school was a weird time, but you know, I mean, I get my 20-year reunion coming up in a year or so.
Ooh.
And
You look good for 20-year reunion coming up.
Thank you. 36 years old.
36. You still a baby.
I am a baby. I'd like to think so, except when I wake up in the
You're
morning.
not a spring chick. You more like late summer chick.
I just had mine last week. My high school reunion. It was over Zoom because of COVID.
Oh.
Yeah.
All those freaking boxes must have been crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of whack.
What was it, Ryan? Was your 30th reunion you had?
No, my 20th. Yeah.
Oof.
He said 30th.
I'm just joking.
You gonna let him shade you?
I'm just joking.
Don't do that.
No, he looks younger than me. I actually thought I thought you were in your 20s when I first met you.
Hey, my 20 years is coming up soon too.
Mine too. Next year.
It's gonna be fun. I can't wait. I can't wait because
I bet because you was the fun guy.
No, I can't wait because I don't know. I think it's probably a bad thing. I like to go there and just check out. Well, I guess everyone's on Facebook these days, so it's not as like it was used back in the old days. Where
nowadays you have to kind of think about where everybody is.
Yeah, like
online.
I pretty much know. I'm friends with probably say 75%. We only had a small class. We had like a couple hundred people. So like,
gotcha.
I'm friends with most of them on Facebook. So like, I can see they're all have kids. They're married. Some are in jail.
Yeah.
You are dead. You can keep track of them very easily. So
still they're dead.
Listen, I mean, they were the most
Things
likely,
happen.
probably most likely to die when we were in high school, and they won the award. But I mean, that's terrible to say. But you can tell when you're 16 years old where the path that some kids are gonna go.
Yeah, you can. I just saw. That's funny you said. I saw somebody from high school from like a week. He was very sloppy in high school, and he so happened to show up in my feed of like friends to probably add, and he looks way worse. And I was like, dang, I knew he was gonna look like this growing up. I knew it. It's horrible. And then he had 4 children. Let me not talk on the babies. Ooh, Lord, the apples don't fall too far from the tree. So yes, I understand what you're saying.
The worst ones that with the what was it? What they say when you had to come out of your what's the saying? When you kind of look like the ugly duckling, but all
the ugly duckling moment. Like it's a. Oh, I know what you're saying.
But then,
I know
like,
what you're trying to get
you
to.
mature and grow up, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, like if I just invested in that stock, I would have been all right.
Yeah, you would have been all right. 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 Like everybody kind of goes to that moment, a little awkward moment. Like my son is 13 and he's going through it now because he's not small, but he's not big. His voice isn't deep, but it's not deep enough.
That was me.
So he's going through that.
Yeah,
middle school. That's middle school for you.
That
Middle
was
school, everyone's got acne, everyone's greasy, oily, and just It's just an
Everybody go through that. And I was like, okay, just
grade 7.
and I have to get him to understand.
Yeah.
It's normal.
7 and 9 were a nightmare for me. I mean, that's where I was like,
7 and 9.
Grade 7 to 9.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, dang, when you were 7 years old.
At 10 years old, I was mature. I had a beard. I was driving a car. It was great. Yeah.
So 7th grade, and I gotcha. I can see
middle
that.
school.
Yeah, he's in the 8th grade. So I imagine going into the 9th grade, these next couple of years are going to be interesting for him.
But then you find your way. Usually around that time, you figure out what way you're going to go and what groups and
you
then
figure it out.
And then before you know it, you're in college, and then you're in a whole nother world. So, but
you know what's crazy is I used to think that being an adult, you can just have this freedom to do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You do, but it comes with a lot of crap, like a lot of just bull that you deal with, and a lot of it doesn't even have to do with your choices. It's the people in the world.
Yeah.
Like it's other people that you're going to come across that's going to either make it great or make it not so great. So it's now that I'm an adult, I feel like I'm really an adult now. I thought I was grown coming in like 25, 26, but no. At 34, I'm an adult now. I have all the tools that I need to have a really great, blissful next 34 years. So
life is like a game of Zelda. You know what I mean? You can take any turn you want, and it'll depend on how the game ends. You know what I mean? You have to make the right decisions, and
you have to make the right decisions. Yeah, and along the way is learning, grabbing those tools.
You just spoke on encountering, I guess, the other people in the world. So like when you were writing early on, because being a writer, you face a lot of rejections. Is that like what kind of like led you to starting your own like publication company, so you wouldn't have to?
That's a good question. And to answer your question, no. Well, I started my own publishing company after I started my first company, which is the book club. I started a digital book club to talk about Black books, our stories, mainly because these writers were unknown. And I was excited about that there were hundreds of Black writers that I didn't know about. Prior to that, I was just introduced to the same 30 to 50 same old writers that we grew up in school reading about, same old books in libraries. So when I discovered all of these other writers, majority of them were independent. And I was kind of annoyed at the fact that no one told me that I could make my own dreams come true. Like this was something I had spoken outwardly at 12. I was going to write books. I was going to move to Atlanta. I said all these things at 12, and I was going to be this full-time authoress. And nobody told me I could just do it myself. I really thought that I had to wait for someone to give me an acceptance letter to say, yes, your story is good enough. Let me publish you. But when I discovered that I could do it myself, I went and on Google, I bought some self-publishing books. I did the research myself. I named the company after my mother. And the rest was history. I was on tour before my book even came out because I was pressed. Awesome. I was like, I can do this myself. Like, I'm about to put out my book. I'm an authoress. And in 9 months, like I was doing the most that first year when my book first came out, but it was mainly because I could do it. Like I didn't want to wait for someone to tell me that my book was good enough.
Oh, one more question about the 8Ball and MJG film. You wrote on that and you produced. What was that experience like?
I grew up in Texas. So I grew up knowing 8Ball and MJG's music way before a lot of people in the world because they were a part of a Houston-based label. And, Houston they dominated, the rap game for a few years in the late 90s and early 2000s. It was several different independent record companies there. So when I got the opportunity to meet them, that was one of it's few celebrities. I meet celebrities all the time, and those were the few that kind of took me there. Like, this is like really happening. Like, this is 8Ball, and they're so normal. Ball is very shy. MJ is very reserved. They're not like the rappers that you see on, the internet now. They're all about the music. They're all about the craft. They're just regular, dudes, and they don't really like, the attention and exposure and all that. They just go and do great music. So creating and being a part of that biopic was mind-boggling for me, first of all, because I got into this to write books. Two, it was a more of another humbling moment for me to kind of keep going about this journey of mine because it's leading me all kind of different directions that I never thought about. And then everything is coming full circle. So all of my everything from my childhood to my early teachings to my own self discoveries, it just helped solidify my journey. So it was an uplifting experience for me in my own journey.
It's awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What's making
That was such a loaded answer.
Yeah, no, it was good. That was good. We have another minute or so with you, but where would people go to check you out, buy your book, do all that stuff?
Yeah, so it's easy to find me because I work in branding. So everything is my name, Tamika Newhouse. So that's TamikaNewhouse.com, Tamika Newhouse on Instagram, Tamika Newhouse on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, y'all, because I'm funny on Twitter. Like, and my Twitter be popping. A couple times I go viral. So people like when I talk on Twitter. I'm interested. Now, I don't really like to show my face a lot, so I'm not as engaged on Instagram, but I am on Instagram. Follow me there. Okay. I have my podcast that I produce, which is a memoir pod. And this year we're adding a visual element to it. So a TV show element that will be streaming on Amazon Prime. And so it's called Traces of Mika. Okay. And it's streaming on everything that you can think of when it comes to podcasts. It's on YouTube. It's Traces of Mika, which is my name, Mika, M-I-K-A. And Black Writers Weekend, which is a festival that I produce for writers and that are in publishing and in film. Go to blackwritersweekend.com.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was awesome talking to you.
Yeah, it was awesome talking to you guys, too. You guys were fun.
Hey, thank you. We don't usually get that.
And you got a little flavor to you.
I like that. Well, thank you again, and we'll have you back soon. Next time, you keep in touch with us, all right?
Yes, definitely invite me back. I'm going to try to be on time next time, but you know how we do.
No, listen, we're always. It doesn't matter, so thank you again.
Y'all continue to be safe.
Tamika Newhouse here on the Arty 84 show. All right.
She was really cool.
She was a good guest. Look at you, Ryan. You're getting a good one. She was fun, huh?
Yeah.
Very, very interesting lady. I just want to give a shout out to Alex Wallace, religious watcher watching tonight. And at any point during the show tonight, by the way, I could be a uncle for the first time. My sister is in labor. So,
wow.
At any point, if I say, hey, by the way, I'm Uncle Arty. Who doesn't want an Uncle Arty, right? Sounds like a bad idea, Uncle Arty. We don't know the name of the kid yet. She hasn't told anyone. Well, my mother accidentally found out like a couple days ago. So my mother is like, and my sister's mother-in-law, the only two that really know. So I'm really hoping she's naming him Arty. So, after her favorite brother and grandfather and father. And
your mom's really withheld that information from you?
She literally found out probably 24 hours ago.
Wow. So I'm shocked she's been able to keep it quiet.
And it was a complete secret. My sister accidentally released a picture to my mother that had the baby's name on it because she had getting pictures taken, I guess, to post once it all said and done, and had the baby's name on a thing. And my mother, of all people, who's not very observant whatsoever, was able to pick this out. But so she told us she knew yesterday, me and my wife. And I could have got it out of my mother if I wanted to, but I felt it was going to be a lot. If I mean, easily, I could get anything out of my mother. She's a pushover. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to use my superpowers on my mother today because if I do so, I can't hold a secret. So my sister ended up finding out that I knew the baby's name before the baby.
Well, at least you're honest with yourself.
Yeah. So I know I can't keep a secret. So I know it's not very. Yeah. So I'm like, it's probably best that I don't know because I'm going to find out in 24 hours anyway. So, at this rate, I don't want my sister to be pissed off because, then all of a sudden it's a tornado of emotion and I don't deal with that. Okay. I had to deal with that for 20 something years living with her. So, but
understandable.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, we got a second guest on deck ready to join us tonight. Would you like to introduce her?
Of course, in the USA alone, there are over 53 million people suffering from various versions of extreme hair loss. With those numbers steadily rising, demand for effective hair care solutions continually grow. Tapeka Tolbert recognized this problem years ago, and she looked to her divinity and received the answer, Pika Healthcare.
All right. Tapeka, how you doing tonight?
You're us.
How are you tonight?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Where are you joining us from tonight?
I am in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, nice. Making our way across the country. There you go. Are
Yeah.
you in a laboratory, it looks like, in the background?
I'm actually at work.
Okay.
I'm done working for the day, so I just stayed here so that I can be in a quiet space.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
My co-host who left me, Adam, I thought for the first 5 years I met him was a chemist and always worked at a laboratory, and I was very, very off. But I do like the backdrop. It is pretty cool. It's like you're currently discovering new discoveries as we talk right now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yes, I did a lot of discovering here.
Awesome.
I've been in this location for about 7 years now. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where did you? I guess how did you fall into the field of a hair restoration? Like what inspired you, or what happened that you were like, I need to find something to deal with this?
Okay, so about 10 years ago, I would say it would be safe to say about 2010. It was, I like to call it a pandemic of hair weaves going on.
Yeah.
And I used to see a lot of women, primarily African-American women. They will constantly wear hair weaves and hair braiding all the time. And I used to speak out of my mouth that people are going to lose their hair and I'm going to be the one to fix it. Mm-hmm. Because I just seen that women stop liking their natural beauty. They will look for the extensions to enhance their look. While some people do need that, but it's meant to enhance for a special occasion, a wedding, a birthday party, but not for an everyday look. Mm-hmm. And so over time, being a cosmetologist first for 24 years, clients will come to me and they will have what is called traction alopecia. And that is when they lose all of the edges. Their edges start to appear bald to the natural eye. And that comes from a lot of tight braids and hair weaves. And so during that time, I knew that I had to come up with something to help people actually restore their hair after coming out of weaves for many years.
Okay. So you're right. So my grandmother was right all these years. She used to yell at me I used to wear hats all the time. And she was like, "Why are you wearing hats?" She's like, you're gonna go bald because you're constantly putting pressure on your hair and tightening it up. And I would wear hats that are really tight and stuff like this. And I always thought she was crazy. Then a couple of years ago, I got my new license picture and I compared my two licenses from when I was 21 to when I was 31.
I remember that.
Holy shit. Yeah, I was like, damn.
Tamika, you got to help us. Can you help a bunch of 30-something-year-old white guys, please? Is there anything you can do?
I absolutely can help you. So it'll be a different case for you. So just so you know that there are over 50 causes to hair loss. Traction alopecia just happened to be one. Okay. But the number one culprit it's a hormone called dihydrotestosterone. And just to summarize that is the male testosterone that is running rapid in the body that causes the hair to shrink. And so it deminiaturizes the hair follicles, causing the hair to appear very thin. So before the hair can actually pierce through the scalp, the body is, for lack of a better word, is eating the hair, if you will. Okay. And so the hormone eats the hair. So to help, I formulated products that have what you call DHT inhibitors. So DHT inhibitors are blockers. So it'll block the body from eating up the hair, if you will, because hair is primarily protein. So it's 91% protein, and anything that the body could be lacking, the body is going to find it because it's very smart. It's going to find it in your hair and it's going to start eating the hair. Oh, wow. But with the DHT, the good news is there are solutions for that, and you can stop that. You can stop your body from reacting to the DHT by using products that have DHT inhibitors in them.
I feel like all those things that you're talking about sound very expensive, and then once you stop using them, it just goes right back to the way that it was going. Is there anything what can we do?
Well, it's not really expensive. So for instance, one of my shampoos, an 8-ounce bottle, it'll cost you like $25 with shipping.
Oh, that's not bad.
Right. So that's not bad. I keep it affordable because my goal is to help people. And it just depends on how severe your hair loss is. So if you are a person that that's experiencing more than 100 hair strands shedding per day, and you see a big difference in your hair, then you may need to supplement. So supplementing is part of what I do as a hair loss practitioner. I suggest different supplements for people because we don't get all the nutrients we need in our day-to-day diet. You know, most time the food is not raised properly to give us what we need. So you may need DHT inhibitors in the form of a capsule or pill. And those things are, you know, it attack that hormone from the inside. And then you won't have to worry about your hair coming out, you know, because you're stopping it where it's starting, which is internal.
Yeah, I mean, I wash my hair with like Nioxin, and I know that's going to slow things down a little, but it's not going to stop the inevitable. Like, it's not.
You want my honest opinion? I did Nioxin was my #1 pick. I would say back 17 years ago. I used to use Nioxin as I started to learn different products. But what I found with Nioxin is once you stop using it, you're definitely going to lose your hair. And that's for sure. You're going to lose your hair. So you have to approach hair with a overall holistic approach. I like to call it multi-therapeutic, meaning internal, external things, and holistic with my approach. Because, go ahead. I see you have a question for me. Go ahead.
I was just saying too that like as you was talking about like holistic ways. I was reading. What about like garlic and olive oil? Like, does that kind of stuff work too? I was reading some kind of study I've read like studies that say this might work, it might work, not work. Some studies show it doesn't work. Some studies show it does work. I just don't know anymore.
Well, olive oil in particular is an excellent carrier oil, but the differences in oils is that the oil has to have a very small molecule. So if the oil molecule is too big, it's not going to penetrate down into the scalp. So like, for instance, a popular oil that's out there, like Moroccan oil, it smells beautiful, but Moroccan oil needs a carrier oil in order to penetrate into the skin. So where we have it's a sebation gland. And so most people that eat like very oily foods, that like healthy oily foods, a lot of avocados, different things that have good fat, they don't need oil to stimulate their scalp because their body produce enough oil. But some people don't eat enough of the right foods and they have very dry hair, very itchy hair. And so my oil is formulated with 7 different oils actually, where anywhere, and I'm going to say this boldly, anywhere on your body that you desire to grow more hair, Pika Hair Care Elixir Serum will definitely grow hair there. So for men that want to fill a beard in, all you have to do is oil your face every day. I have a derma roller tool. You use that tool, it'll fill your beard in. I
can't grow hair. I can grow the mustache. I can grow the beard. It takes me weeks I don't know why. It takes me 2 weeks to grow what I get right now. And my dad has this like full goatee, and I was like, it was always badass to have a nice goatee. I can't fill in hair, and I struggle for years. So I might have to try. I always just want a goatee once in my life. I just want to kind of have that look. You know what I mean? Just to see how
I just want this to stop going back.
And I can help you with that. I can definitely help you with that.
Let me ask you a question. So they always say hereditary, right? Look at your mom's dad, right? Is that factual, or is that just a old wise tale?
It is hereditary. So 94% of hair loss is hereditary. But what makes it hereditary is we develop the same habits that our parents did.
Okay.
So when you grow up in a household, you eat the same way that your father and your mom ate. You know, you do the same things that your family do. So then that is really what makes it hereditary, because it passes down from one generation to the next.
Makes sense.
And so the hormones that are in our body, which is the testosterone, it's a destroyer of hair. If it develops in abundance, it is going to shrink your hair follicles. And so the DHT, to go back to what I was saying originally, the products that you guys use should have DHT in it, because that is going to stop the hair from shedding off, whether you man, women, boy, or girl. You know, it's safe to use DHT inhibitors if you are experiencing hair loss at any form. So, but hereditary is what things that are passed on from genetics, and you can stop those things with DHT inhibitors when it comes to hair. So, like for instance, if your family is a family that have diabetes and have blood pressure, right? Yep. And so if you eat the same foods that your grandfather and your grandmother ate, then it's a high possibility that you will have diabetes and have blood pressure. But if you say, hey, I'm going to not eat those things that I know can trigger that, then you can be on a different path for your life.
I mean, it makes sense. I guess it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So hair loss for men, it seems almost we accept it. For women, it's a lot harder because, you know, women have, their hair is sometimes everything for them and stuff. So for a product like this, seems to be a great option rather than having to get expensive wigs and stuff like this. But let me ask you a question though. So during, say, for example, medications or say chemotherapy, right? Your hair gets lost. Now, say you're done with the therapy, and now you're starting to recover and back into your healthy lifestyle. Will this treatment help regenerate the hair that sometimes is lost during this process?
Absolutely.
Really?
And so with clients like that, the treatment will help. And I like to do like consultations, whether it's phone, via Zoom, or in person, because then I get to ask questions, you know, in terms of health and different things that they possibly would go through. But I have other options. So for instance, I'm not sure if you heard of laser, but laser treatments, it's been proven that they grow 100%. They have like a 100% rating on hair growth. And that treatment is considered paramedical. So I have some people that have issues where they can't come to me, but I can ship them a laser that they can use at home. So when people experience chemotherapy and different things like that, one of my products are designed to remove anything negative out of the hair. And it's called an apple cider vinegar wash. And you know, apple cider vinegar has amazing properties in itself. And so with the apple cider vinegar wash, it actually goes inside of each hair strand and it pulls out the medications that you take. Oh, wow. It pulls out cigarette smoke, marijuana smoke, cigar smoke, the toxins from the environment. It takes all of those things out of the hair to get it ready to receive good stuff like the DHT inhibitor shampoos and all the vitamin B and vitamin C's and vitamin D's that's in my conditioner. And then I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the 80s, glycerin was a product that they formulated for like people that were like the curly set.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so glycerin was just growing people hair down their back. So I knew that I wanted glycerin to be in my product. And so that's one of the things that I put in the conditioner, and that lives inside of the hair and it just grows and grows, you know. So
all I can think is Soul Glow from Coming to America.
There you go.
That's awesome.
There you go. Yes.
So it says it could take smoke and marijuana. So could someone essentially have to go for a drug test and get hair follicles taken from them, and those hair follicles not show any evidence of marijuana smoke after using your treatment? I'm just saying out there in theory.
Well, I can't tell you how many treatments you will need to remove it out of the hair.
Okay.
But what I can tell you that it will remove it out of the hair strand. And that's because it pulls out anything negative that's in the hair shaft.
Interesting notes right there. All right.
I'm sold. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm
right?
ready to buy some.
Yeah. This much.
I'm
We got
on board.
about another minute or two here left. But Tamika, where can we find this information or get this product from?
You can go to www.pikahaircare.com. PikaHairCare.com.
Okay. And we have a lot of bald listeners to watch this and listen to the show. So I'm sure you might get a flood of people trying to help themselves there. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was
thank you so much.
very educational, actually. This is very helpful to the plight that some of us men and women have as we get older. So,
But thank you for having me. It's my pleasure, and I hope you invite me back again.
Yes, we'd love to hear as your research goes further, more results and some more data. So it'd be very interesting. And maybe I can finally get my goatee if I always wanted to.
Before you
I'll
go,
I'll email you some. I'll email you some cases that I've been able to restore, like 75 to 80% of people's hair. So I'll email you some pictures so you can see a few things that I've done.
but I'm on your site right now. Before you go, what would you recommend that I buy? Someone like myself.
So the regrowth kit.
Yes.
The regrowth kit.
Okay.
So that'll be a good starter for you.
Gotcha. Okay. Read the regrowth system bundle. Is that what we're looking at?
Yep.
I see. Gotcha. All right. Cool. I will.
Adam's gonna get his
browse your site.
Again, thank you, Tamika, for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Pleasure having you. Everyone, check out her product. You got to do one more time. What's the website?
It's www.pekahaircare.com. PikaHairCare.com.
All right, there you go. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. See ya.
All right.
I'm buying it.
Tapeka Tolbert. The
$90. Let's do this.
For hair loss. There you go. Tonight was a great show. We had Tamika Newhouse of her stories and her books and everything. You got to check that out. She's a very, very interesting person if you tune in late. A very, very awesome guest to talk to. And Tapeka. She's gonna cure all our hair loss because I'm
gonna be the guinea pig here. I'm gonna be the guinea pig.
And I would be willing. Maybe we could get a GoFundMe together so we could fund your hair restoration, and then over the course of the year, we could see the progress of how. I want to see a nice fro. I want to see like a Cool in the Gang fro on top of your head. You know what I mean?
It's $90, but
they might be worth it.
Who knows? We'll see. I'll be the guinea pig here.
When you think about it, it's a small price to pay. But
if it works, if it's snake oil, then
Tom Brady's doctor, right?
Yeah, right.
But all right, so we're about to end episode 150. If you're watching on Facebook right now, we're gonna continue going for another 45 minutes to an hour. But so if you listen to the podcast right now, Ryan, what you plugging, my man?
Oh, definitely just check me out on the Packy. I got some cool blogs up on the site. So
yeah, he's the man. Glover. And Mr. Mallett?
You can find me on the Whirlwind Potato on YouTube. I've been writing and filming some new stuff and got to start editing. And I will hopefully, like I said, by the end of September, early October, be off of my hiatus.
There you go. So it's the ID84 show. Check us out. YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Intune, Spotify. Anyway you listen to your podcast or video blogs. So check us out. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.